Alright, hello everybody. It's me, Cosmic, trying to do a YouTube video for the first time in a long time. I'm gonna show off the Glacial Cascade miner, bringing back a old classic. So, Dire Gray, over here on Twitch, he's been playing it as a Trickster and inspired me. Trying to revamp my passion to keep playing the League, because the League's not the most fun, I would say. Don't need to get into that right now, though. But yeah, I'll link his channel in the description, and you can find his POB through, I think it's only through like his chat right now, because he doesn't have a video for it or anything. Actually, I should have grabbed this before, but let me see here. I do believe I have his POB handy. Just let me grab it. This one? Here we are. So I'll link this in the description. Here's his. Here's mine. Let's get into it. So I'm in here in game. I went with Witch. I didn't realize that Profane Bloom does not work with mines, so a little late for that. I stuck with it. Being a witch, or an occultist, I guess, I've decided to go more on the power charge route. I could go heavier into it, obviously. I don't have Void Battery or Malachi's or anything, but like on the tree, it took a little bit more on the power charge route, I guess. Leveling at 38 when you get high impact mines is when you could really start fiddling around with this setup, but you really want as much well, I guess you could probably get some mine throwing speed on the tree by then, but 38's the earliest you can really start playing this exact setup, because that's when you get high impact mines. So the gear and the gems, for the occultist version, I went like full ES gear. I grabbed this thing for like 10 div or 15 div. I'm using a mage blood. He's using the tides of time. I don't like permanently keep up my coruscating elixir like in my hideout, but while you're mapping, it'll stay up. If you're bossing, it might get a little more tricky, but I don't really do much bossing. This is more of a mapping setup. So I went full yes. We got a Sandstorm Visage with just like, I went with ES corruptions and then max frenzy on these gloves. I'm using these gloves to get leech, which I'm using with Ghost Reaver. Since I'm not a trickster, that was like the easiest way to get leech. We're doing Prism Guardian. I just made this shield. There's like barely any double corrupted on the market, but I actually managed to hit this, which I think is probably best in slot because it gives like super high levels to your auras. I grabbed this thing for pretty cheap too, actually. It's an upgrade from what I had. We got crit multi on there. You just want good crit chance to work with Sandstorm. And then you have it, as long as you got the MD suffix for mine throwing speed, you're good to go. I had this ring because I thought it was going to work with Profane Bloom, but I just kept using it anyway because we need evasion on both rings to get the 20% extra ES from the mastery. We're using Replica Dragon Fang for the amulet, and then just some sort of standard Mage Blood flasks in my setup. He's using Taste of Hate. I guess I could like try and work that in instead of. I didn't want to mess with it. The setup's working pretty well for me. We just got a bunch of jewels, like mine throwing speed's your most important thing. Crit multi, obviously. We got a Corrupting Blood one here, and then I'm getting reduced effective shock on me so obviously being a witch, I have, or an occultist, I have, which one is it? This one. Can't be frozen or chilled, so that's taken care of. And then we're taking this mastery, or this Pantheon, so there's 60% reduced effective shock there, and then just getting the rest on jewels. And then my ignite is taken care of through this flask. So that's elemental ailments taken care of. Or curse immune from this flask. Got a bunch of crit strike from that, and then topping up our resistances with this. Pain attunement, obviously. I'm tattooing a bunch of ES on my int nodes on the tree because I have a bunch of int on my gear, so I can afford to tattoo the increased ES, which just gives me more ES. It's just because I'm low life, I want more ES, or as much ES as possible, I guess. And then we're taking melding just because it was the biggest boost to my ES pool for like the 4 points that are easily accessible. It's probably, I mean, there might be better ways if you're doing like an adorned setup to not take that wheel, but for my setup, because I'm not doing adorned, yeah, just more crit multi-jewels, a little bit of stats if you need them, mind throwing speed, as I said. And then I got this Watcher's Eye just to get a bit of extra ES and some extra cold damage. For gems, we're doing Empower. Oop, didn't mean to take that out. Empower 4, Charged Mines, High Impact Mines, Awakened AoE, Minefield, and then Glacial Cascade. And then the rest is just sort of like we're getting Bone Chill from our Skitter bots. All our auras here. We're doing Herald of Purity because Herald of Ice doesn't work with mines really. Like we get the cold damage buff, but this is a better buff. We don't get the, like we don't summon the Sentinel Purities with this, but we're just using it to get the extra damage. And then Hatred and Clarity. What else? So you don't need to do shield, like you could just do Flame Dash, but I had these 2 gem slots. I mean, maybe you could do like Enduring Cry with Call to Arms. That's an angle to take. I mean, if you're doing some sort of setup with Zealot's Oath, then Enduring Cry would give you regen on your ES, like whenever it goes off, which would be nice. But this is my setup for now. And then just a Bear Trap for on the bosses. And then, so automation, you kind of want to keep it at level 1 with no quality for the setup, because throwing out the minefields, if you have quality on it, you start detonating the mines too quickly. Like, you'll notice that, like, I keep above 10 for the most part, active mines, but you'll go below that if you start using a higher level automation. So keep it at level 1. I've tested, and that was like through watching Dyer. He tested with that, and it was the best that way. I could probably take the quality off that too. I'm not sure if that would help. And then just Flame Dash and Steel Skin. Steel Skin's going off with automation. Just removes the bleeding. I mean, we have corrupted blood from the jewel, and then that just, if I do get bleeding inflicted on me, it's getting removed every few seconds anyway. Moving on, the tree, I already showed most of it. I'm level 99 right now. I've fooled around in POB a bunch, and I think this is the best setup. I was using Heart of Ice instead of Explosive Elements, but I switched though. I took these nodes out, and then I spec'd into this mastery, because apparently that's a big damage boost because of the other mastery that we're using. And then this is just more, that's 10% pen instead of 6. But we lose the cold damage on the way up. But, I mean, I think we're good there. So with my last point at level 100, we'd just be going into Saboteur here. I guess that's about it. I'll run a quick map to show that, and yeah. Map here. Just on my back to basics tree. So you just gotta make sure you hit coruscating, because so my coruscating set to reused, so I just hit it once at the beginning of the map. And as long as I'm killing stuff, I've never had it fall off during mapping. So. If there's a long boss encounter, there's a chance that it would fall off, but I guess in that case, like, you could, like, if you're more of a bosser, maybe you just put, like, the flasks gain a charge every few seconds or whatever on your chest instead of the aura effect. But, I mean, I'm not much of a bosser, so I don't know how to optimize for that. Hey, just run around, everything. I mean, this is like... If the old Glacial Cascade was more powerful than this, I understand why they nerfed it. Because this is like one of the most powerful builds I've ever played. And Glacial Cascade is my favorite skill. I've just only ever played self-casting. So being finally inspired to try this mine setup is proving... well, I mean, I think the biggest change would be the automation gem. Because it's making mines, like, I mean, I'm basically just playing it like a casting setup. If I'm on like a hard target, I can just stand here and hold right mouse button down. And I stick at like over 10 active mines most of the time. Which is about what my mana can keep up with. I'd have to get some more mana reservation efficiency, I think, to like actually be able to hold more than that. But yeah, that boss just melted, as you can see, and it's pretty good. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. That's Glacial Cascade Mines, a blast from the past. I think Glacial Cascade of the Fissure is what's really making this good, because it behaves more like the old Glacial Cascade from what I know. I wasn't around for that, but yeah. And then this league with the mines changes. I mean, you could even try the mine mastery, I guess, with it's triggered when moving if you don't want to use automation, but yeah. So long, and we'll see you on the next one. Check the description for links to Dire and the POBs.